This is Around Town with Tanika, the Red Chair Edition. Hey y'all, it's Tanika of Tanika Donnell Realty, and today I am here with Mayor Michael Evans of Mansfield, Texas. And I'm so excited, guys, because I've been trying to get the mayor here since February when we did our series on trailblazers in the area. So thank you today for coming, for joining us. I'm excited because you have lots of titles. You have Reverend, Dr., Mayor, Michael Evans. Tell us a little bit more about you. What's your story? What's your journey to get here?
Wow, thank you. Well, you know, actually, the title that I'm really a lover of is Honey and Daddy, and my baby girl calls me Big Daddy. That's my 2-year-old granddaughter. Those are your favorite titles? Those are my favorite titles. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and came to this area in 1984 to attend college. And stayed here. Lisa and I, we met in high school, so about 3 years. High school sweethearts. About 3 years into our college years, we married, and our parents just called us nuts, and they were right. But hallelujah, it worked out, and we've been married these 34 some odd years now. And you know, I fell in love with the area in that it was slower, in a slower speed, so to speak, in regard to Houston. And my grandmother was here in Fort Worth.
Was she?
Yeah, and I came to Mansfield because I needed a grade. I was working on my master's degree, and I needed a grade, and my predecessor, pastor at the Bethlehem Church, invited me to come work with him, gave me a grade, and you know, the rest is history, to be honest with you. Yes, that was 1989, that was actually 1989.
And so you've been here in the Mansfield area with Bethlehem Baptist Church since 1989?
Since 1989. They are nice people.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And very embracive and loving, apparently.
Without a doubt. I mean, we were kids when we got there, and they loved on us, and we're here. We fell in love with the community, started serving in the community, and it becomes a part of it.
Well, you're a very busy man, and you've talked a lot about the importance of family.
Yes.
So how do you actually juggle all of the components of that? Family, work, politics, how do you do it?
You know, that's a good question. I need my wife. She would be here to validate, you know, these lies I'm about to tell. But no, I'm just jiving. What I attempt to do is you carve out time for your family, and I mean that. You know, we have a schedule, and on your schedule you have X amount of things that you do during the day in regard to the work a day, so to speak. I make sure, and we did this when our kids was younger, we meet at the table at 5:30.
A.M.?
Yeah, and P.M. No,
Okay,
she ain't trying to beat me at no table no 5:30. You know, but we meet at the table 5:30 P.M. when we leave the house. Now we eat breakfast together, so we do that. We eat breakfast together. We have our morning prayer, and she goes her way, and I'll go mine, and we meet up again at 5:30, and this is kind of what we have done. And you know, we talk about our day, and usually if I've got something going on at the church, I get to the church, I'm there a couple of hours, then come on back home. But that's how you do that. You move,
prioritize.
Time aside, and you stick to it. You block it out, and it's been working for us.
So coming from an extensive background in ministry, what made you kind of switch it up and change into politics?
Well, my undergraduate degree is political science, pre-law. Yes, ma'am. I wanted to be, Michael wanted to be a civil rights attorney. I really did, because I wanted to help people. My mom did an awesome job, I think, at raising her kids. I'm the oldest.
Of 6?
I'm the oldest of 6 in all, and a single parent. My dad, bless his heart, was dealing with Vietnam. He brought Vietnam home with him. He couldn't help it. He was a young man. But hallelujah, that got all right. My dad and I, we talk every other day. Same with my mama. You know, we communicate every day. But those are the kinds of things that you know, you have impressed upon you when you're growing up, and you know, it becomes a part of you, and you want to make sure people's lives are right and together, because it's all a lot coming up. And I didn't want individuals to have their hand out. I try to communicate to people. I tell you what, I'll help you out. Let's get a hand up. That's what I received, and that's when I think that politics, polis, is people. So you're working with people, and you get things done for people. So it's ministry.
Serve the people.
It's ministry. Yes. It really is.
So you really, it's you're transitioning. It's the same.
Technically,
it's a different forum.
Right. One is policy writing and bridging gaps and consensus building and compromising. But you try to do the most good for the most people. And to me, that's ministry. And so I really don't see a line of demarcation between the two, to be honest with you.
I love it. Now, your campaign slogan was proven leadership.
Yes, ma'am.
What exactly does leadership look like to you?
You know, leadership is, I was just asked this earlier today, as a matter of fact, leadership is working with people and helping people to reach a given goal or assignment, helping them to get to that place. You do that through, as I mentioned earlier, through consensus building. You do that through vision casting, and you also do that with grace. I think you have to treat people like you want to be treated, and influence. Sure. So when you get all those things working together, you're that person to help make that happen. And things get done. So to me, that's what leadership is.
Now, originally when you started into politics, you were a Democrat, but you ran as an independent.
Oh, yeah.
Why the switch?
Well, see, because local politics still today, now the state legislature is trying to change that, but local politics is nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order for you to, I think, win, you've got to be able to convince both sides of that ideological aisle that we have more in common than otherwise. Okay, I love that. And it is so. I think that I might have hit the ceiling, now as mayor. I don't know if I want to. Now this is Michael talking.
Yeah, I got my Oprah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I want to go into the county or state office because then you're picking sides. But I need to work with people on both sides in the city of Mansfield. And we say all the time, when you're dealing with people's issues, they aren't red or blue.
No, not at all.
No, it's human beings. It's not even black or white.
No.
It's the basic needs of human beings. Now, I am black, but I didn't run on a platform of being black. My platform was make sure that we have a safe city, make sure that you have a good infrastructure, roads and otherwise, good education, and you have to partner with the ISD. I served on the school board, but then you also want to make sure that people have a good place to where they can come, relax, and play and grow their families. We all can agree on that.
And that's just everybody.
I believe it is.
Of ethnicity, background, culture, that's what everybody wants for their family.
I believe it is.
I agree with you completely. Now, as a Christian though, how do you stay true to your Christian morals and beliefs in the midst of the kind of political chaos that sometimes happens?
Well, I think it's easy. I mean, it's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So, I don't have that problem, sometimes my problem is, I'm more like the Apostle Peter than Jesus, because if you hit me, so to hit you back. But ultimately, we're guided by our morals.
Yes.
I think human beings should have a moral compass.
We should.
Yeah, we should. And when you're true to that, I believe we win. Now, whether people like you or not, I mean, because people are going to choose reasons to not like you, but you got a moral compass. You allow your life to be guided by that. And I don't care if you are Jewish, if you are Muslim or Buddhist or whatever you are,
or whatever area or forum you're in.
I can treat you like a fellow human being.
Right.
You see, even if you may not treat me like one.
I'm gonna treat you.
I'm still going to be kind to you or courteous, even if I don't like you. I'm going to be courteous toward you, and I think that's every person is owed that.
Yes, absolutely. So it doesn't matter if you're in a political environment or not.
No,
just being you.
I believe that's yes.
Well, I think happy belated Father's Day to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're coming off an amazing weekend of the first Juneteenth national holiday being recognized. And that's a special time, but especially for you, being the first African-American mayor in the over 130-year history of Mansfield, Texas. Did that have a significance to you this weekend?
Oh, it was so special because we have a couple here in town, Brenda and Norman Norwood.
Okay.
who had been hosting, coordinating the Juneteenth festivities for 33 years.
Wow.
Norman Norwood, bless his heart, contracted COVID and was very ill.
Sure.
But he made it through. He made it through. But it caused the family somewhat of a struggle in that, you know, they're saying we're going to reallocate time to each other.
Yeah.
She passed the baton on to a young lady in town, Della Sapp and Terrell Douglas, and the city really got involved, more so than it had ever been involved. And we really had a festival out at the Mansfield Performing Arts Center. I mean, it was that. We had some blues, we had some gospel, we had some jazz, and we had the different booths out there, and the people that came were of all ethnicities.
That's fantastic.
Juneteenth is you know, some people were bothered because the holiday is called Juneteenth Independence Day. Well, it is Independence Day, and let me tell you why. Because if said group of people is you know, chatteled or enslaved, then really other people are too. Anybody who...
He's preaching, y'all.
Well, but it's true. Anybody who agrees with that or gives a nod to that, they are imprisoned in their own mind. So Juneteenth says we all are free.
I love it.
And that's what was so special about it this year. It really was.
Can you touch a tad bit on, I was at an event the other week with the Black Chamber of Commerce with Arlington. Thank you so much for putting that together. You talked about free-ish a little bit along that same vein. You want to give a few comments because it was amazing what you said.
Sure. Well, you know, in regard to being free-ish, there's still certain liberties that are not afforded to people of color, blacks in particular. And not only blacks, but I would even say to immigrants, bless their hearts. And this is a nation of immigrants. And we say free-ish because anytime you can be stopped because you are driving down the street, and I suspect you might be up to something because I'm driving a Beamer or something or whatever, you know, BMW, something like that, and I'm not of said shade or color, ethnicity, that's a problem. That's
a big problem.
You know, you look at the disparities in regard to people who are incarcerated, that's a problem. So that's free-ish. We're not, as a country, and we're the best country on God's green earth, I'm telling you that. We are still a work in progress, so that's where ish comes from. We kind of almost maybe we're about to, we're free-ish. But free-ish is not good enough.
And it's not free.
And it's not free. It's not free.
Yes, well, I thank you for sharing a little bit of that. I'm going to transition a little bit and talk more about, as mayor, what are some of your major focuses for the city of Mansfield?
You know what? One of my major focuses is making sure we keep this tax burden down on people.
Hallelujah.
You know, and yes, ma'am. And the way that you do that is that you attract the right kind of companies, the right kind of restaurants, you know, commercial developers here to our area. And let me tell you why that's important. Because, excuse me, they will bring in the kind of office buildings, restaurants,
housing, real estate office here,
without a doubt, and that's an issue that we have to work on as well. Bringing in those quality companies that pay into the city.
Yes, sir.
You see, because when they pay into the city, then you don't have to pay so much to the city.
That's right.
You understand? They help to pay for our streets and infrastructure. They help to pay for our police and fire. They help that. I mean, our water quality, all of that stuff. So we've been marketing the city. And by that, when I say we, myself and my fellow council members, along with the city manager and his executive staff. So we're actually going to people and places, inviting them to come into Mansfield, see what Mansfield is. I believe that Mansfield is God's country.
Of course.
I believe that Mansfield is in the garden spot of the Metroplex, and that this is where you want to be. You see, so we're more than just a warehouse and distribution center. We are a beautiful city with beautiful people who want to raise their kids in a good environment. So that to me is step number one in doing anything in Mansfield, taking care of the folks.
So are there any things that are coming up, any developments, any opportunities that you can share with us right now?
Oh gosh, yes ma'am.
Anything you want to share? We'd love to hear.
Right, and you know, you might edit it later if the city manager sees this and calls me or something. But yeah, here's the deal. One is We are putting a total new face on the downtown area.
Okay.
Because that's important. So we know this, that our city is growing southward, down 287, 360, all right? So we're wanting to reclaim, say, Old Town, that would be the downtown area, put a new face on it, but also make sure that people are drawn to the downtown. So, for example, I believe that downtown should be hopping from Thursday through Sunday. Now, of course, after you get out of church, but and even church it'll be hopping. But it's important that people are drawn with music, they're drawn with theater, they're drawn with by plays, food, always food, you know, and just culture.
Yes.
All right. So you'll see some developments coming downtown that's going to do that, where we will help developers to own and buy land down there, so that we can have that kind of development working. Along 360, we want to put hotels out on 360.
Okay.
Not only that, but in the area called the Reserve, which is 360 backing up to 287.
Yes, sir.
Almost like a rectangle. We want to build a convention center there.
Wow.
Bring in a convention center hotel, and we want to have somewhat of a town center kind of a look, as you will see in South Lake and places like that.
I think that is fantastic.
These are things we're working on right now. We hope to issue a bond around May-ish.
Okay.
We will ask you, the taxpayers, if you are willing to, number one, pay for a veteran memorial. We don't have one.
Wow.
Our veterans should have one. But also, you know, we were talking earlier about the Epic and places like that in Grand Prairie. Come on, Mansfield.
Come on with it. Now, what's that?
Exactly. So we're going to be asking residents if they will help us to make that happen. We need a multi-generational center for all of that takes care of the whole person, mind, body, soul. So
everything that they need would be right here.
That's the plan. That's what we're working on.
I love that.
Just to answer that question, that's what's happening.
What about the housing site? Because I'm a real estate brokerage.
Yes, ma'am.
I really want to understand, what are the plans real estate-wise? Because this market is on fire.
You know what? It is, like nuclear. I mean, it is crazy.
It is.
Let me just share this with you. You've got, and even as I think, you've got about 1,000 homes being platted right now as we speak, right here in Mansfield. A lot of your growth is down 287, as I mentioned, that 360 area, but definitely that South Point area and abroad. You've got the MK Ranch, M3 Ranch rather, that's coming. You've got 200-300 acres of land that's being marketed right now, that we want to turn in, not just where we're putting houses on the ground, mind you, we are. But we're talking about creating little village type spaces. You know, we were all raised, and we believe that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes, it does.
So as we build our neighborhoods now, 21st century on, 2021 forward, that you should not only have homes, but you should also have corner grocers there. You should also have
retail.
Yeah, definitely. And we want to see more of that, like the spaces where you'll have retail on the bottom floor, but then the second and third and fourth levels you'll have
lofts
folks living. So those are things that we're talking about.
Exciting.
And it is very exciting, and it's happening right now. So, and you see some of that downtown now. As we're building now. So
the progress is coming.
It's here. It's here. We're living it.
Well, what is a piece of advice that you have heard in your life that helped to shape you into the man that you are today?
Stay humble. Number one, stay humble. Number one. Number two, know that no one person gets to wherever it is they are going by themselves. God puts people in your life to help you along this journey. They don't even have to look like you. What is important is you having sense enough to know that they have your best interests at heart. And knowing that you're going to make mistakes. There will be some failures in life. Failure is an option, by the way. But when you get there, learn from it and keep moving, keep pressing, keep your eyes on the goal. And those are things that I've learned, and they've blessed me. Don't be afraid to try.
I agree with you completely. So my last question for you today is, what would you say to young people out here trying to find their way in the world? What can we leave this audience with that is full of probably millennials and Gen Xers, hopefully also, that are tuning in? What would you say to them? what would you say?
You know, Simon Sinek, author, wrote a book about discovering your why. You know, W-H-Y.
Yeah.
Why do you believe God has placed you on this earth, number one? When you are able to define that, then you're able to define your purpose. Your purpose has to be more than just earning money.
Absolutely.
You know, because one of the things I've learned about material things, they fade. You know, so redefine success beyond the dollar bill. You make the money.
Yeah,
you know,
money
but
will come.
It really will. It really will. But here's what's important. If you can define success in ways of being fulfilled and filling and guiding individuals and pulling people up either with you or as people come behind you, then to me that is a life that is rich. And one that will cause you to want to wake up in the morning,
That's right,
and go and face the day. To me, that's what it's all about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I don't know, y'all. I
Thank
mean,
you.
people here are like, we are like, this has been phenomenal.
Thank you for letting me.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me.
Trailblazers like you give entrepreneurial people like myself just to see a real life example of what God can do.
Yes,
so I want to say thank you for sewing back and letting everyone understand how you've made it to where you are today, sir.
I'm on the back of cotton pickers. I'm on the backs of maids, people who clean up other folks' house and my family. I'm on those people's backs. So I thank God for them.
Yeah.
My job and ours is to get our shoulders ready so that your child, your children can stand on and make it. That's what it's about.
Well, y'all heard it right from his mouth. Again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Stay tuned for the next Around Town with Tanika. We'll see you again. Have a blessed and amazing day.